So today we are here with Amy Morrison. She is the 2019 Enduro National Champion. And we were just racing at Silver Mountain together. We did the North American Enduro Cup. And I'm pretty sure she was halfway done with lunch by the time I finished. But it was super fun being out there and getting to ride with the top women in the country.
Yeah, it was a really fun race. A couple of big days on the bike for sure, and yeah, happy to race and just on a road trip and happened to be coming through Seattle.
All right, so Amy, tell me, it's been a little while since we worked together, so I'm excited that you're back. We got to do, a little bit of braking stuff this morning, which was cool. What are your biggest takeaways so far from our time together, like in terms of your racing and your riding?
Yeah, so when we had the chance to work together a couple of years ago, I think cornering was the biggest opportunity for me to get faster, and I really feel like that has changed my racing and really has led to a lot of my successes. And when we first worked on it, it didn't really click right away. Like I had it and it was in my mind and I was trying it in places, but it really took some time for me to really adapt that as my new riding style and kind of let go of some of those bad habits. So we worked on cornering, and body position was another huge one, and those go hand in hand. And those have really become like where I don't think about it anymore.
Nice. Well, today we're going to work on some more advanced skills by taking to some scrubbing of jumps.
Yeah, now that I'm faster, I need to now.
You got to get it back. You got to get it back on planet Earth before the woods happen, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so we'll get started with that. So the thing about scrubbing, when we're talking about scrubbing, essentially what we're talking about is kind of starting to turn off the lip of the jump and let some of the energy out. And when we do this, rather than letting energy up into our body where it can't truly escape, like there's only so much we can dissipate into our body. And then when we run out of space, we're basically going to have to find a way to dissipate that energy away from us. And that's essentially what we're trying to do when we scrub, is we're trying to let the fork blow off to the side of the trail as opposed to up into our body. Essentially what we're going to be doing today is we're just going to work a small set of jumps. The reason we're using small jumps isn't because this is a new technique or something. It's because they're hard. These jumps are hard to hit.
Yeah.
Going really fast because they're small, right? So we're going to try to see within reason, like how quickly we can go through this line today, being passive maybe, and then also starting to work these off angles and starting to scrub a little bit. When I talk about creating style in the air or something like that, that typically starts when riders are new to it. That's actually creating style in the air. And then we'll start to make that movement on the jump lip, and then we'll start to gradually bring that further and further down the jump face. The scrub is exactly the same thing. So when we first start, it's just going to be trying to get a little bit of that off angle on the lip itself to let that energy move. And then eventually, especially on wider jumps, on wider trails than what we're going to be on today, we'd actually be able to carve a turn up the jump and then let that energy off. So I want you guys to think about this as a couple of progressions. One is moving from just being passive to starting to work some off angles, and then gradually working your way back down the jump face. Any questions or anything before we get started?
No, this is cool. I've never tried to scrub anything, so
yeah.
Today will be
I don't know, your house looks pretty clean.
My house is clean. I do keep it. Okay, good point. I keep a clean house, but I have not brought that to Gravy Train yet.
Okay, well, I'm not a master of scrubs either, but I'll try to teach you guys what I know.
Cool.
You guys ready to ride some bikes?
Let's do it.
Okay, cool. Let's do it. What, I wasn't supposed to go fast on that lap?
Yeah, I thought that was a cruiser lap.
That wasn't cruising? I thought you meant cruising, like cruising fast, not cruising slow. All right, that was a good run. I followed you down.
Yeah.
And you said something at the bottom that I noticed on the run, which is I only turn my bars to the left, right?
Yeah.
So you were actually getting some good squashing, and which is basically being passive, and you were getting some bar turn for sure. It was good. So a couple things about it. One is learning to turn in the other direction. So right now you're pulling to the right and turning to the left. And so what we might start doing is making a bit of a theme. So we might actually start the first three the other way.
Okay.
And then do the last three that way. Okay, so we'll do the first three to the right. I'm going to have you mimic me on this next lap.
Okay.
And we're going to do we talked about this earlier, we're going to do more just turn downs. So we're not going to go super fast, just so you can feel it. And then so we'll do the first 3 turning right, and then the next 3 turning left. What you're going to get out of what we're shooting for, which is a direct turn down off it, like turning down and scrubbing over the top, is you're going to eventually be able to go lower and lower and lower. That was, I thought that was pretty good. Like you're starting to get some movement.
I feel really kind of crooked and
Crooked?
clumsy.
Yeah, well, I mean, so sometimes like it was like, okay, I'm going to do something, but I'm not really sure what I'm doing yet.
That is spot on.
But I mean, it didn't look dangerous. Okay, so it might have felt messy to start, and that's okay. Like you're starting, at least you're comfortable trying stuff in the air, right?
Yeah.
And this is a super advanced technique, and that's totally fine. I mean, like you're making good progress here.
So I noticed your rear's not turning at all.
Yeah.
And I feel like mine in the air it goes different directions depending on which way I turn the bars, but it naturally wants to go out to one side.
Yeah, I'll have to follow you and see what's going on there. The idea here is that we don't want to get too sideways unless we're purposely trying to push the scrub into a scrub whip.
Okay.
So like we're just trying to stay low and definitely land straight. Was it coming straight before landing?
Yeah.
That's not a big deal then.
Yeah, it kind of just felt natural, and I wasn't sure if that scrub whip was supposed to happen, and just let it happen naturally.
Yeah, it is. You're probably just a better rider than me. That's probably all it is. Nice.
She's got some style.
She does have style, yeah, for sure. The other thing you didn't have was any height off the jump, which is what we're looking for.
Yeah, I felt pretty low on that one.
You were like, I was like, ooh, is your front wheel going to clip? But it was like, you were literally just like skimming over this. I mean, it looked like if it was a tabletop, you would have almost not even left the ground.
Yeah.
And that's what we want. I mean, you're getting the outcome that we want.
Awesome.
It felt good?
Yeah, and kind of, you just said like it looked like my front wheel was almost going to clip, but I had no feeling of that the whole time. Like I felt totally fine.
Yeah, totally comfortable. And the benefit you got too is you were able to land right at the top of the jump here. So like, anytime we have jumps, the jump is generally speaking the steepest part of the trail. You get a lot of speed.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask, you had me doing the other direction because I was only going to the left, so we're doing the top 3 to the right.
Yeah.
Why would that be important to do both directions?
That's a great question. I mean, so let's say you're coming out of a hard right-hand turn. Okay, so you're coming out of a hard right-hand turn, and that sets you up wide down. So now you're on the rider's left of an upcoming jump.
Mm-hmm.
In that instance, you could only really scrub right. You couldn't scrub left anymore. So that's why you need to be able to do this. So it's kind of depending on where the track puts you.
Gotcha.
In terms of like your placement on the track, because the idea is you need space to be able to carve up the jump. I mean, like if you think about like the A-line race, like that's a great example of places where they're taking like super high speed corners and then they're scrubbing.
Right
so like if you watch that race, you'll notice that they're all having to scrub in both directions. All right, so next step. So Linnea, I just want you to simplify. Just work. You can pick one direction and just like little turn downs. Okay. Amy, for you, what's your progression going to be?
I think I need to add some more speed. So
okay.
That felt pretty good last time. And,
yeah, it looked great.
And the goal is really to do these at max speed. So.
Yeah. Put the warp drive on.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. So what you started to do while we talked about it at the top is you started to actually lean a little bit. Okay, so you started actually hitting the body. The first couple times through, it was just kind of like a little bit of a bar turn. And that's not actually like able to dissipate any energy, because one of the things we're trying to do here is to not be perpendicular to the ground we're on. We're trying to like offset that angle so some of the energy can escape. And that was really good. So
Cool.
up out of camera range, you got a few nice ones. How did you feel on that one, Amy?
I felt pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were all really good. There's maybe one where it didn't feel quite as dialed, but
That was the one that was on perfectly on camera range.
oh, okay. Perfect.
And I'll show you what happened on that one.
Yeah.
So what you're going to see here, so like I'll rewind this to the beginning so you guys can both check this out. So you got a wicked one. This first one was super wicked. So here, like a really good one. See that? Boom.
Yeah.
So sick.
Yeah, isn't that cool? And then this one, what happened is like you got a little bit back here and you got pulled. See how you kind of got yanked by your arms a little bit?
And it shot the bike forward.
Totally. And
Yeah.
so like that's what really happened on that one, is the bike kind of escaped you and then it like pulled you in a little bit. And that's what, and when it pulled you forward, that's what actually made you travel past where you were hoping to land.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I felt
Because
higher and I felt like it was more out of control. Basically.
Exactly. Yeah. You basically got pulled forward down the landing by your own arms.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just want to stay a little more collected as we're scrubbing that one. And then you'll have nice loose arms and you won't be pulled by the arms and pulled like an extra distance that you didn't want.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's tricky about scrubbing, because you're committing at speed.
Yeah.
And your movements need to be really precise, because if you get either unwanted compression or you get to the end of your rope like that, had that been like a super steep landing, that could have been trouble, right? No big deal here on these little jumps. That's why we're learning here. Both you guys are doing great.
I like watching Amy.
Me too. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to have somebody new in the mix with us, so we appreciate it. All right, that was a super fun sesh.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys both got takeaways from it. Lene, you were starting to get some good turning going off the edge there, and starting to bring your speed up, starting to get comfortable enough to hit these fast enough, right? The first couple times through was like, okay, I'm going to try this new thing. I'm going to go a little slowly, and you were actually casing a little bit. Now you're coming through here quickly, and you're not casing, and you're getting that off angle movement that we're looking for.
So my steps were to just hit the jump correctly, and then add in some bar turn, and then start to add in some body movement and start to lean into it. And I felt like I made some progress on that today. But it was really fun for me to watch Amy coming through here, because she took off and landed the jump so quietly, it didn't even sound like her tires left the ground. And when she was going across, I got to see the side view, and she's staying so low. So it's cool to see where I'm at now and then where this could lead one day.
So coming into working on this, I've watched videos of other riders scrubbing, and I've just tried to play with it on my own without really any instruction on it. And so I felt like today I was really able to, one, work on the other side, because I was only going to my left, which I think starting over on that side really helped break it down, the movement, and really just be able to add speed into it and feel comfortable letting that energy sort of come off the jump and go to the side with both wheels together.
Cool. Awesome. Well, nice job. That was super fun. So let's go find another place in the park to do some other stuff.
Sounds good.
Cool.